What's going on, YouTube? This is what would Josh do, and this is a very exciting video because this is on Anker's brand new charger, 140 watts with a screen. It's gonna basically be released with this thing right here, which we just did a video on last night. Make sure you go check that out. It is the Anker 165 watt 225K built-in and retractable cable. So super awesome power bank so far. But in this video, we're gonna be focusing on the charger. So it's 140 watts and it's 4 USB-C ports. Well, I think it's 3 USB-C ports and a USB, I don't know. We're gonna find out here in just a moment when we unbox this thing. Wow, they really protected that. That is, I'm gonna have to save all this for a future shipment or something. Alrighty, so here we have the Anker charger 140 watt 4-port PD 3.1 with USB-C cable. It's going to be the B2697. That's Bravo 2697. Basically, yeah, it's just a bunch of FCC information, some stuff I don't really care about. On the side here, we're going to have a whole bunch of data, such as the C1 output being 9 volts, 3 amps, 15 volts, 20 volts, 28 volts, 5 amps, or 140 watts. So it looks like USB-C 2 is equal. It can also do 140 watts. And it looks like USB-C can do 5, 9, 15, and 20, so up to 40 watts maximum. So you're definitely going to want to use C3 on, like, say, your cell phone. That would be a great one to use, or even a tablet. And then use USB-C 1 or USB-C 2 for something such as your ROG Ally X, and then use USB-C 2 for something like this that can charge at 100 watts. And then it looks like with USB-C 1 and 2, it's 70 watts each. That's really nice to see. A lot of these say, hey, if you have 2 devices connected, USB-C 1 gets 100 watts, and then USB-C 2 gets the leftovers, like, 30 watts or something. So that's nice that it splits it, and my RG Ally X can charge at 70 watts, while my battery bank charges at 70 watts. And then things get a lot more different when you use USB-C 1 and 2, USB-C 1 and 2. Yeah, anyways, all the stats are down here. You can pause this and read it for yourself. Let's get to the actual unboxing here. Now, it's got these little pull tabs here so you can easily open this without using any tools or knives or anything sharp. Just gonna pull the power bank out. All right, inside the box, we've got the 140 watt charger here. It's got some weight to it. We may or may not remember to weigh it. And then in here, we've got that USB-C cable, which is a long one too. All right, and yeah, that's about a conclusion of the box. There might be some instructions or something in, yeah, okay. We've got a, quick start guide here, so it's gonna basically walk you through the instructions on how to use the thing. It's pretty self-explanatory. USB-A, you'll wanna use that if you're gonna charge up something slow, like say a pair of earbuds, or a game controller, or if you want your phone to charge overnight, like a really slow charge, use that USB-A. Otherwise, use one of the other USB-C ports, and yeah, you're gonna enjoy that a lot more, because I don't want to be stuck near a charger for hours and hours on end when I can just connect it to a USB-C port and have a phone charge really quickly. Freaking, I love it. My 16 Pro Max charges at 28 watts, 29 watts, sometimes faster than that if it's real low, so yeah, this thing's gonna be fantastic for that. So we got the power charger, I almost said power bank. We got the charger here, and then in here, we've got a very nice cable. Ooh, it's braided. That's a 3-footer right there. I'm estimating that's 3 feet. That's pretty good size there. It's a nice cable. It's braided, and it feels so good, and it matches the color of the power bank. So that's awesome. So just a quick look at the power bank. We've got 1, 2, 3 USB-C ports and then the USB-A port. We've got nothing here. Anker 140 watts here. Nothing here. We've got a screen here, which we're gonna check that out. And then we're gonna look at the information here on the bottom. And I'm not sure if you'll be able to make that out. I will take a photo and overlay it if you can't. But all of the specs are gonna be on the bottom of it here. This is also information that should be included on the side of the thing, but yeah. All right, so yeah, this is a screen and these are the prongs. So we're gonna go ahead and we've got some things that need charged, thankfully. So we're gonna connect it here to our wall outlet. So it's gonna have a nice little animation there and say 140 with a smiley, angry, all a bunch of different faces there. That's freaking fantastic. And a little sleepy animation there. All right. So it's touch. Oh, so this is the button. Okay, so pressing this takes you through all the menus here. So temperature monitoring, it's going to be excellent right now. This is going to be like the overall, all the ports at one screen. This is going to be the individual C1, C2, C3, and USB-A for a total. And then, yeah, the monitoring. So anyways, let's go ahead and connect up that USB-C cable that it came with. And right away, just right away, I want to get to the protocols. So let's see what this sucker can do. We're going to run a test here. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Alrighty, so we're going to go to charging protocols. We're going to go to be ready and auto detection. And we're going to see what we see. Oh, this thing can go sideways? What? Does it know what way it's facing? Or did I do something to... Oh, you hold it. Okay. So holding this button rotates the screen. That's neat. Alrighty, so taking a quick look at this, we've got Quick Charge 3, so it can do 5, 9, and 12 volts. And then we've got PD 3.1, so we can absolutely do PPS 5 volts to 11 volts at 5 amps, or 4.5 to 20 volts at 5 amps. And then we have 28 volts to 5 amps, so that we can do that 140 watts. That's fantastic. All right, so what we're going to do now is we're going to connect up a second USB-C tester. And we've got Anker's Prime cable here that's rated for 240 watts. And we're going to connect that to the bottom of this one here. So the tester on the right is going to be the top port, USB-C 1, and this is going to be USB-C 2. So what we're going to do now is we're going to run these tests together at the same time, which would simulate two devices being connected at once. And hopefully we see 70 watts on both of them. All right, I'm seeing PD, 70 watts. All right, so we're gonna click on PD3 on both of these. And as you can see, we have 5 to 11 volts at 5 amps, and we have 4.5 to 20 volts at 3.5 amps, and then 4.5 to 20 at 3.5. So same exact result on both at the same time. That's what you want to see. It's pretty neat that you can flip this around, so depending on which way it's facing, you're not like, oh, I'm out of luck, I'm facing the other way. That's pretty freaking cool. Let's get it to go back towards me. There we go. All right. So now what we're going to do is we're going to connect up this power bank here. All right. And as you can see, yep, we are charging this sucker up at 100 watts. So at this current charge and at this current speed, it's going to take about 45 minutes to finish charging this thing. That's awesome. Now, if we connect the ROG Ally X, it shows here that we can do up to 70 watts on the power bank here, and then it shows we can do 70 watts towards the ROG Ally X. And that's exactly what we saw in our testing. And here it shows C1's going at 66, 67 watts, and C2 is going at 65. So then we can just press this to go and see that the temperature's fine, and that we're currently utilizing 131 watts right now. That's awesome. Alrighty, so what we're gonna do now is we have our Anker C300 DC here, and I've got it drained down to 75%. So what we're gonna do is connect it to the USB-C 140 watt port here. And as you can see, we have 135 watts on USB-C 1. And we can press this button and see that we're charging at 136 watts, 135 watts. This thing's gonna be fully charged in under half an hour from now. And as you can see, we're also drawing 148 watts from the wall. So far this thing is fantastic. The question now is, will it overheat? So I'm gonna let this run. It's currently 11:07. So I'm gonna let this do its thing, and we'll come back and we'll see when this thing decides to throttle. All right, so we literally just hit cooling mode and then it switches to high performance. So that's weird. So I literally just prepared this thing by connecting a PlayStation 5 and drawing a 300-watt load. So yeah, I just got this thing down to 70% because I keep them fully charged. Because the other one was at 98%, I knew it was going to be finished soon, and I wanted to see this thing thermal throttle. So we're getting right on the edge there where it says high performance, but it switches to cooling. So as you can currently see, we are doing 116 watts to this thing, which does charge at 140, by the way. And if we pull out our temperature gun here, you can see that it's a little warm. It's 60 degrees Celsius. All right, so now we have cooling mode. Cool. So I am recording a quick little video with my thermal gun here, which you'll be seeing on the screen. And yeah, we are at 67, 68 degrees Celsius. 71 degrees Celsius. Okay. Yeah, this thing is definitely cooking, but it is currently 11:28, so it took about 30-ish minutes for this thing to get to this point. And we're still charging at 120 watts. And though cooling mode is activated, it will slow down the charging to keep the temperatures from, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, that hurts to touch. That sucker is warm. Okay, so it's not so, oh, that is not comfortable at all, but I can tolerate it. But that is not comfortable at all. So there you have it. You've seen that you've got super fast charging for Samsung. You've seen 70 watts and 70 watts, which is, you know, a laptop at its potentially max or almost max speed. The RG Ally X at its, you know, almost max speed. Or you could just charge one of those things at its max speed, and you can combine 3 things or 4 things. Man, that is so freaking hot. So we're still charging at 120 watts, which is actually kind of crazy. See that? 120 watts. And here it says USB-C 1 is doing 120 watts. But if you look at this, it says cooling mode. And we're not quite at the maximum yet. There's still room for it to go to the right. So I'm assuming that as this gets hotter, it's going to throttle down even lower and lower and lower until it charges slow. So we'll keep monitoring this and we'll give it a little bit more time. Alrighty, so it just hit another change where it's still in cooling mode and we were down to 100 watts instead of 120. And now this thing is so uncomfortable to touch. Like, it was not comfortable before, but I'm about to have to, yep. Okay, that's just a little too much heat for me. And when this thing starts up, I'll have a quick little video showing the temperature. All right, so now we are recording. And you should see 78, oh my gosh, 79 degrees Celsius. So if we go here, we do see that it's pretty much 81 degrees Celsius. That's freaking cooking. Oh my gosh. Not quite sure what 79 degrees Celsius is in Fahrenheit, but man, that's warm. It's even hot to touch the screen on this thing. I'm surprised I'm still getting 100 watts out of it though. And if I show you the percentage there, we're currently at 80%. So, I mean, the good news is we've been maxing this thing out to its fullest potential for over 30 minutes now. And it's been taking it. And we're still at 100 watts and we're at its like maximum operating temperature right now. I just can't believe how hot that is though. Oh yeah, that is just a little too hot for me to keep my hand on that. I can't do it. It's actually like burning. Oh, I can't do it. Oh, I can't do it. That's so hot. I need to edit this video and I want to get it posted tonight. But I'll be looking over and keeping an eye on this thing. And I'll put some stats up on the screen right now. I think this product is awesome. I love how it sits. And you can have it on the wall like this. and then all your cables are dropping down. Well, if all your cables are coming out of the front of it, it's gonna put a lot of weight on it, and it's gonna pull it out of the socket. And this way, it's less likely to pull it out of the socket. And then in a situation like this, where you've got your power strip like I do on mine, and it's facing up, the ports are gonna come out of the side like this. And I think this is a fantastic setup. And then also, if you're a nerd like me, you can see what each individual port's doing. You can see whether it's charging at its fastest speed or if it's slowing down. And then you can see the overall wattage of all the ports. And I'm gonna have a link to it in the description below. This was sent out to me for free. I did not pay for this unit, but Anker's not paying me to make this video. They just sent me this for free in exchange for a video. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up. I'd greatly appreciate it. Please follow me on Twitter and Instagram. This is What Would Josh Do? And I'm out.